So hello everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. My name is Brenda Hernandez and I have Albert Robledo, one of our greatest mentors out there and a awesome person that I've learned so much from and a great entrepreneur. So Albert, you want to say a little bit about yourself, Albert?
Sure. My name's Albert Robledo. I'm from a little town called Kingsville. I came down to the Rio Grande Valley in 1996. I was a teacher, I was a band director, and came down here because of a job. And now I love the Rio Grande Valley. A lot of people say there's nothing here. Well, you're wrong, because South Padre Island, our little piece of paradise, is just down the corner. So I've learned to fish. I got a little boat. I fish with guides. I just spend as much time on the beach as I can and just doing a lot of outdoor dining and just walking on the beach. So it's one of my favorite places to be.
Great, awesome. Well, Albert, I'm so happy for you to be part of this because I feel that you're a great inspiration and we definitely need that right now more than ever. And we want to be able to help others as well and understand how, sometimes people don't see the opportunities, but they are out there. And that's one of the reasons that, I felt that you were great for that and wanted for you to come on board to be able to tell them a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you're at now. So I'm going to ask you a few questions if that's okay with you.
As my little boy Abram says, I'm ready.
There you go. So Albert, how did you get into the insurance business?
I was doing a teaching clinic for a group of students in the Rio Grande Valley. And if one of my friends came over to me during one of the breaks and said, "Hey, Albert, I'm learning about tax sheltered annuities and how your money grows tax deferred and you save more money on taxes." And he just went on and on and on. And it just so happened at that same time, I was learning about all this stuff. So the gentleman asked me, "Well, would you mind if we came over and do a presentation at your house?" And I said, "Sure, come on over." I was not one to say no. So I let him come over. I didn't know what they were going to do. And so what ended up happening is they did a needs analysis for me. And they asked me about all my income, all my debts, all my expenses. What am I saving? How much do I have saved? And so one of the questions on their presentation was, well, not a question, but just a little, they plant the seed. They said, if you're interested in doing this, we can also help you make extra income. And so at the end of the presentation, they asked me, would you be interested? I'm like, sure. So from there, they gave me the insurance information and I took the course and I passed the test and all that, so that's how it went. It was just from one little invitation. Let me do a presentation for you. Let me show you what I'm learning. And from there, would you like to do this? I'm like, yes. And then from there, I got my license. So that's how I got into this.
Great, awesome. And the key point was extra income right there.
That was what it said in the statement. If you would like to earn a little bit of extra income, you could become you can do what we do. And so again, at the end of the conversation, they made sure to ask me again, because they saw that, I was like, that was interesting to me. So they made sure they jumped all over it and I got into business. Awesome.
So what was the hardest decision you ever had to make?
This is an easy question for me. I went to college. As a music major, I played saxophone in high school. I did mariachis and I did all this stuff. And I wanted to teach music and I loved teaching music. So I got a degree. I came straight down to the Valley because of teaching. So that was the hardest decision. I did insurance part-time for 2 years, but both years I had such a good income. It was hard to ignore. But I went to college. Took me 5 years to get out of college, but I went to college for this. That was the hardest decision. Turning the resignation to saying and closing that door on education and moving forward in insurance. That was the hardest decision. That was the hardest decision.
So Albert, what is the best advice you can give right now?
I truly believe that most people want extra income or want to change in their life. I really believe that most people are they're looking. And the best advice I can give is just walk in a direction. It doesn't matter which direction. You don't know if it's going to be the right or the wrong thing. if it's going to work or don't work, but you're never going to know if all you do is think about it. So the best thing I can advise is just start, just do it. Just figure out, whoever's, because obviously somebody's tugging on you, give them an opportunity and see if you like it. That's the only way. Because then from there, you'll decide if you know what, I didn't like it, but I'm going to try this now. Once you get past the fear, you just keep going.
That is great advice, Albert. So another question we have, what mistakes have you made along the way?
Ooh, some good. So this is a rather embarrassing one because I constantly teach at this stage of in my career in insurance. I constantly teach you have to be organized. You have to have, you have to have everything in spreadsheets or a CRM of some kind. You have to have everything, all the data organized. But when I started the business in 2006, I was not organized, and I didn't save my client lists. I didn't save their birthdays, and I didn't do their birthday. I mean, I just did nothing. So all those years of building up clients really was a waste. Not that it was a waste. It's just, if I had been more organized, I could have done more with that information to help more people. So that was one of my biggest mistakes, not organizing myself. And the second biggest mistake was not organizing my business, because as I grew with agents, I did not organize their clients and help them organize their business in that manner. And so it takes time to do that. It takes time to do all that work. And for some people, they look back and say, just forget it. They don't want to do it because it's a hard undertaking. It's a lot of time to type in everything, to put the data in there. So that's my biggest, it's the same thing. Mistake 1 and 2 all had to do with organizing myself or organizing my business.
Great. So what are your success habits? And I'm writing this down, yes.
My success habits. So I always start off with, with the physical. I walk every day. I lift weights. Those are things that I do automatically. Some of the success habits, two big ones. Either I read books or I listen to audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to a book by Ron Chernow on Alexander Hamilton, based on the musical Hamilton. So I'm reading the book that inspired that musical. I just finished a book, Think Like a Freak, and it talks about just thinking outside the box and how different people just thought outside the box and they got really good results from thinking differently, thinking analytically. So reading is one. And the second one is having a business coach, having a mentor, having people that's very successful people that you listen to. I truly believe that many people listen to the wrong people. Too many people want to hear a certain message, so they look for that message. And unfortunately, you need to look for somebody that's not going to tell you what you want to hear. You need to look at somebody that's going to say, you know what, dude, try this. That doesn't sound good to me. That doesn't make sense to me. Somebody that's willing to just make you look at your own decisions and your own words, your own thoughts. So I just had a business coach. We just finished our relationship, but I've had many business coaches throughout my career.
Wow, that's awesome advice, and I understand what you're saying because it makes a difference when
it does make a difference.
So another question: if you could start all over again, what would you do differently? And we kind of heard that because you said something about being organized, but
that would be another thing. So at the very beginning of my career, I was taught to recruit and train agents. That has always been ingrained in my brain. Recruit, train. Recruit and train. I even went through the AFLAC training that you went through, that you're so good at, of, just throw them against the wall, see what sticks. Not everybody's going to stick, but you have to give everybody an opportunity. So using that mindset, I just where was I headed with this? We're talking about recruiting and training.
What would you do
and remind me of your questions. Repeat your question.
If you had to start all over again, what would you do differently?
Okay, now I remember. I was recruiting agents and recruiting agents and recruiting agents. And at the very beginning, the first 5, 6 years of my career, I wanted every single agent just to be an agent. I wanted to be the only, the person on top of this chain, and that was just rather selfish of me. If I had encouraged others from the very beginning to do what I'm doing, I think all of our organizations would have been even bigger than they are today. If I had only encouraged more people to grow their business like I was growing my business. At the very beginning, I didn't do that. I just was telling agents, hey, this is a great business, do it. I would to the next person, this is a great business, you need to do it. And then letter C, and then letter D, and then letter E. And I would just tell everybody until I got to the end and then start it all over again. And now my message is for everybody that I come to, you can do this and you can be a business owner. And before I was just telling them you can be a salesperson. And now I'm like, no, you don't want to be a salesperson. You want to be the business owner. There's a big difference. So my message has changed from when I started to now. That's the thing that I would do differently is from the very start, teach people to grow their businesses.
Create more leaders.
Yes, more managing agents, more people managing people.
Great, great.
Just like what you're doing, just like what you're doing.
Great, and that is great too. It's great advice because that is something that people need to know that, we're here to help you build as well. So that's one of the key points that I feel that it's important for them to understand.
I do think a lot of people we just get selfish, and selfish with information, and it doesn't have to be that way. There's plenty of income out there for everyone. There's plenty for everybody. So, hey, I'll teach it to you if you're willing to learn.
Awesome. So our last question here is, what's one change I should make right now to help me get closer to my success?
One change anyone should do, and I've already mentioned this, is to get started. So many people, we live in fear, we live in worry and stress. Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if this and what if that? Instead of thinking, this could work. What if this turned out to be great? But we tend to go, nope, what if it doesn't work? What if they're right and I don't do well? This person said that stuff is stupid. I shouldn't do it. But that's where we tend to focus. And so you have to look at all the good and find people that are going to share the good with you and listen to them and just start doing it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So many people start businesses every day and it doesn't work out. That happens. But you have to try. And once something happens, something good happens, then you get a little bit more positive, and then another good thing happens. It happens with all our careers. I did not think I'd be a business owner right now. I think we're managing 200 plus agents, producing agents in the Medicare market. I mean, I'm very proud of that we're at this point. But it all was overcoming fears, overcoming failures to get to where we're at now. So just start, just take action.
That is so awesome. So thank you so much, Albert. I hope this was valuable information because all we're here is to help you, inspire you, and hopefully with this information, you're able to make a difference for yourself. And we're here to help if you need anything. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Albert?
No, I did. The main thing is I just really appreciate the opportunity, Brenda. The world, especially the world we live in here in the United States, it's a very positive one. Even in the time of COVID, there's so many businesses that are flourishing and that are doing very well. Yes, don't get me wrong. There are some that are not. We have to find, right now what I'm telling myself is we got to find a way to keep moving. And that's what it's doing. The people that are willing to find a way are the ones that are going to keep going. And the ones that just give up, unfortunately, they're going to just go backwards. Their business may die. It may not recover. I don't know the answer. I just know that I'm doing my best just to move forward.
And that's what it's all about. We keep on moving, and with progress, we'll get to where we need to get to. And I'm excited for that. And thank you so much for being part of this. And I'm excited to learn more from you because I know that I get to learn a lot from you. And we'll go from there. So thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, everyone, and take care.
All right, Brenda, thank you.